The story begins with a guy named Barbie, who's new in town. He's out in the woods doing the awful job of burying a dead man. Barbie has a fresh cut on his forehead, which hints that he got into a violent fight with the guy he's burying, but we don't know why he killed him yet. A little later, Barbie tries to drive out of the town of Chester's Mill. He has a tense run-in with the sheriff's car that really shakes him up. Because he's distracted, he doesn't see some cows wander onto the road. He has to swerve to avoid them and ends up crashing his car in a field. He gets out of the car, totally okay, right before the ground starts shaking from a huge tremor. The shaking stops suddenly, and it feels like something massive and invisible just dropped out of the sky. Then, everything goes dead silent. The first sign that something is seriously wrong is a cow that has been sliced perfectly in half. When Barbie investigates, he realizes he's standing in front of an invisible, solid wall. It's so sharp that it also cut right through houses that were in its path. A local teenager named Joe comes over to see if Barbie is okay, and they both stare in shock at the strange, invisible barrier. Soon, Sheriff Duke Perkins and his deputy, Linda Esquivel, discover that the entire town has lost power. All communication is cut off, phones are dead, and there's no internet, which means even satellite signals are blocked. They realize just how bad the situation is when a small airplane flying overhead slams right into the invisible barrier. The crash confirms that the town isn't just blocked by a wall, but completely trapped inside a giant dome. The explosion from the plane crash causes everyone in town to start panicking. At the local radio station, a DJ named Phil and his assistant, Dodie, are confused because they seem to be the only station still on the air. As they try to contact anyone outside, Phil jokes that their ratings are about to go through the roof. Meanwhile, back at the edge of the dome, Barbie manages to stop a fire truck from crashing into the barrier. When the police show up to look at the invisible wall, they can't believe what they're seeing. The town's councilman, Big Jim Rennie, arrives, and he's just as confused as everyone else. They get news that all the roads leading out of town are blocked, which has caused a lot of car accidents. They know they need to make an announcement to warn everyone and prevent more crashes. In another part of town, a young guy named Junior Rennie is with Angie McAllister. It looks like they're having a romantic moment. Angie is Joe's older sister and a volunteer nurse. She's taken by surprise when Junior tells her he loves her. She tells him she doesn't feel the same way, which completely ruins the mood. They start to argue, and it ends when Angie slaps him and storms off, leaving Junior feeling both hurt and furious. Elsewhere, a family is getting ready to leave Chester's Mill. It's two moms, Carolyn and Alice, and their teenage daughter, Nori. They have no idea what's been happening in town. Julia Shumway, a local reporter, gets a weird phone call from a woman in town. The woman says a huge amount of propane, enough to fill 6 tanker trucks, was delivered to the town's supply this week. She thinks someone was stocking up on it for a secret reason. Julia is a little skeptical but agrees to look into it. Councilman Big Jim goes on the radio to declare a state of emergency. Carolyn's family hears his announcement but thinks it's just a weird ad. A second later, they have to slam on the brakes to avoid hitting the dome, right as another car crashes into it from the other side. The family is okay, but the shock causes their daughter, Nori, to have a seizure. While she's unconscious, she mumbles something about pink stars. They rush her to the hospital, which is already packed with people who got hurt in the chaos. Julia and Barbie are also at the hospital, where Julia finds out her husband has been lying to her about where he's been. Outside the hospital, Barbie and Angie are talking and sharing a cigarette. Junior sees them from a distance and gets incredibly jealous. His feelings for Angie have turned into a dangerous obsession, and seeing her with another guy makes him furious. By now, the US military has shown up and set up a perimeter around the outside of the dome. Scientists are there too, trying to figure out what the dome is, but they have no answers. A little later, Big Jim has a private meeting with Sheriff Perkins and brings up the propane. They talk in a secretive way, hinting that they did something to protect the town. It's obvious they both know more than they're telling people. Barbie had only planned on being in town for a day, so now he's stuck with nowhere to go. That night, Junior confronts him and tries to threaten him.